Welcome back to the Daily Crypto Market Update. Bitcoin did well yesterday to close above the cloud a second day. We're back to being strong bullish. However, really doesn't feel that strong. I don't know about you. Volume did not exceed the moving average. It was a pretty weak day, but that's because there's still a lot of uncertainty about what's happening in the Middle East. Personally, I think the ceasefire is holding. From my scrolling this morning on X, where I get all of my news, I haven't really seen any other updates regarding the ceasefire. Again, a lot of you are going to correct me in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. One thing that I've noticed over here, though, and I shared this in my video on the Coin Bureau trading channel, which you guys should definitely subscribe to as well. It's awesome. And I said that we have short-term resistance right here. So what this means is that before, when we draw this low to this low, it gives us a level of diagonal resistance. And we have a pierce, break. This break right here, the next thing that usually happens, and I said this before and I've said it many times, is that usually we get a break and then we get a bounce back up to what was previously support, which is now behaving as resistance. I said in my video yesterday, I really want to see Bitcoin close above this level. To be honest, it's not really a strong close on the 4-hour. It's definitely not closed above. This is why we have to check multiple time frames. On the daily, it kind of looks like it sort of did, but the reality is it still didn't really close above it. There is a chance that we get smacked down from here. Now, the reality is that with a bull flag setup, which is what this is the first thing that matters. Once this gets taken out, once this is confirmed, broken, done, awesome, then we'll probably get another move up to resistance, probably here, and then we'll get rejected and it'll fall down again. Unless we're going to see some sort of break like this, which is the normal way to exit out of a bull flag. We break resistance, confirm previously broken resistance as support. It's literally the inverse of what we're seeing right now. Then we move on up on our way. Now, in regards to the TBO and TBT divergence, the only thing I'm really seeing right now is obviously we have this cross down, which we saw it actually cross down, which is amazing. On the weekly time frame, we're up 5% so far, but again, struggling to push above long time historical resistance. This resistance level, and I can't see it, unfortunately, but there's this cool new trick actually that TradingView just told me about. If you click and hold on a chart, you get tons of information about it. Now, the TBO has too many values, so I can't see resistance, unfortunately. But it's somewhere around $106,000 where the current price is struggling. Even though it's not current, this historical resistance is still valid. On the 4-hour time frame, nothing new really to talk about there. So let's keep pushing forward to talk about Ethereum. Now, Ethereum did have a much better close. This is usual. This is typical behavior because usually Ethereum will outdo Bitcoin by a little bit. It might not be by a huge margin, but usually Ethereum will outperform or overreact more than Bitcoin. So looking at that 1.5% close, it's good, but what's the same? What hasn't changed? Well, what hasn't changed is this guy right here. This is what I was looking for. Yes, we do have an open trade setup that I'm still waiting on. We didn't get stopped out. We're actually DCAing into this. We're going to sell a little bit on the bounce here to our entry, and then we sell the rest up here. That's the way I trade it. You guys might not agree with me, but it works real well. This macro trend here for Ethereum is still strong bearish. Looking at volume, it didn't exceed the moving average on the 4-hour time frame. We're seeing more closed shorts, but it's not really that great. It's still stuck in bearish consolidation mode, trapped inside of the cloud. So that's Ethereum. Now, Bitcoin dominance did a little bit of a fake out yesterday. It dropped a little bit, but it's still strong bullish. Anytime the price is above the cloud, all 4 lines are separately pointing up. That's a strong bullish signal. Now, one thing I pointed out to people in the Better Traders Club in yesterday's market analysis is the fact that we've been making successively lower peaks here on daily RSI. Now, clearly the peak here on Sunday wildly exceeds this overhead resistance, but look, we have 1 day above, 2 days above, and the 3rd day it drops way back down. So even though we have 2 days above, this level isn't pierced or it's not broken. It was definitely pierced. But the bigger picture here The bigger thing to focus on in terms of Bitcoin dominance is actually an extremely positive sign. And that's the fact, I'll make this super clean and clear. The fact that we're getting higher highs on Bitcoin dominance, going up higher, going up higher, going up higher, and we're getting lower highs on RSI. What that's actually spelling out for us is we're seeing the slow decline, the slow breakdown of this chart. And I say slow because it's going to take a long time. Weekly RSI just flipped below 70, so it's not strong bullish anymore, but gosh, this chart is just massively bullish still. Stablecoin dominance also took a hit, which we definitely want to see it get absolutely obliterated and curb stomped to go down below this level of support. It's going to take a while. Top 10 dominance had a decent close. At least it was green. But guys, this is still a strong bearish chart. Whenever the slow line right here up top is pointing down like this, it's letting us know that this is macro bearish. Others dominance, while we did see a lot of good moves, and we're going to be looking at some of those picks that you guys asked for in a minute, this is still a very much strong bearish chart. The slow line is still pointing down aggressively. BVOL 7D had a little bit of a weird downtick yesterday, but I do expect it to continue moving up higher. Now, before I get to today's picks, I want to remind you, we have amazing courses at thebettertraders.com. I've been trading crypto since late 2017, but investing since 2015, so 10 years. I have a background in teaching, which some of you might notice that the way I explain things, I try to use a lot of the teaching skills, tricks, and mechanisms I've learned throughout my years of teaching way before 2015. And I've compiled all that into a linear format in our courses. Honestly, the best course, and I tell you every single time because it's the best, is 15 Minutes to Financial Freedom. It's a great beginner/intermediate course that helps you understand active and passive trading, using the TBO for active swing trading or AB trading strategies, and passive trading using our free TPT signals that are available through Altrady, which is my preferred third-party trading platform. And of course, when you sign up for this, not only do you get one-on-one coaching, you also get a month trial of the Better Traders Club, the Trader tier, which gives you access to the TBO, monthly watch lists, which now I have to work on the July watch list because July is just around the corner, literally next week. Also trade setups, good stuff like that. But the TBO is the biggest thing. Now, I want to talk about some of these picks because I have my own picks. These top 3 are the ones I really want to talk about. But I did ask you all yesterday, leave a comment with what tickers you're interested in. So I can't ever promise that I'm going to look at every single one of those. But I did take a lot of them, even ones that I normally wouldn't choose or select for myself or for these. And I'll explain why in a minute. Now, we need to start first with KAIA. This one looks on fire. Okay, I will never do that again. I will never say that again. I'm so sorry. Again, the big thing that we need to pay attention to, the big warning sign here, is that even though we had a good day of volume on Monday, yesterday's volume, again, we're still exceeding the moving average, but we're not seeing as much volume. We're not breaking the trend. If for some reason we see wild volume that goes up here to 32 million today, cool. We're fine. We're probably going to be okay. We'll have another leg up. But seeing volume decrease like this isn't positive, even though RSI is overbought. Even though on-balance volume is crazy bullish, even though the price is crazy bullish, it even has TBO breakouts on the daily time frame. But look what's happening after and I think I already deleted my trade setup. Yeah, because I already took my screenshot. Our trade literally closed here at 21.40, something like that. I think actually maybe here at 21. So we're good. And I told you guys, just be careful because the closer it gets up to this 0.618 level, this is where I'm expecting a pullback. Now, it could still push up higher. It still has good momentum, but it is clearly losing that momentum right now, especially with a candle like this yesterday. So just be cautious. Now, with that said, it's normal for charts on a massive uptrend rally, which this definitely is. It's up 98% in roughly 20 days. It's a huge uptrend rally. Having pullbacks on the way up is actually healthy and sustainable. Seeing a parabola like this going up 248% in 24 days, not a good sign. So this is actually a positive sign that if it has a pullback, it should have a pullback down here to the 0.5 fib level. Now, the next trick that KAIA has to pull out of its hat is, can it break above the 618? Now, this is a notoriously difficult level of resistance or support to break. And given the fact that we've seen a massive surge of interest in volatility and volume for this chart, I'm getting the sense that it's getting exhausted, especially looking at volume falling lower. Not saying that it won't do it, but I'm saying that we are getting to the point where having a pullback won't surprise me. On the 4-hour time frame, we're still looking great. We had one TBO close long back over here on Sunday, and of course it ripped up higher. On the weekly time frame, still looking amazing. It's still up 11% for the week. It's still strong bullish, trust me, but a pullback is probably in the cards for KAIA. SEI had an amazing day yesterday. This is one we've been following since this TBO close short back here on the 10th of June. And just to refresh your memory for all of you that are new, hi, welcome. What happens when we get these orange dots, which are my favorite reversal signal, and I'm going to go ahead and link that video at the end of this one so you can watch that to see what I'm talking about. We want to enter on the pullback to the fast line, and we want to use DCA. I am not in a stop loss oriented market unless I'm trading futures. But for the most part, right now, I'm using DCA to buy the dip. Why? Because of moves like this. Getting in here, 52% profit is amazing. Here we have another one right here, and we get another chance to get in right at the fast line for 60% profit. Yesterday's move alone was 25.84%. Look at the volume. Yesterday's volume was almost 10 times the volume. This is usually what the beginning of the end looks like, just so you know. Now, I actually have a position on SEI right now. I opened it up super late, admittedly, but I'm just using a scalping technique to trade this chart. So I entered in, about 3 p.m. yesterday, just because I was bored and I wanted to take a position. So I took profit real quick at 5%. I have another take profit target up here just in case it rips. But I also have a DCA position down here if it's going to have a pullback. So I'm prepared for either scenario. And this is the way that I trade pretty much all the time. I'm going to be taking partial profits on the way up. I'm going to be buying the dip if we get a dip. I'm going to be taking, reserving a take profit target that's a lot higher. So that way I can extract as much volume and profitability out of those trades. Now going back over here, WIF is another chart to talk about. Yesterday it closed up 4%. Today it's also moving up again. On the 4-hour time frame, it's above the cloud. It is closing back, or at least it has its sights set on long-term, and boy do I mean long-term, overhead resistance that has been in play since December. We haven't seen it pierced since this day, the 23rd of May. I'm really gearing up for a test again. Now, I don't know about it pumping up to $1 because $1 is psychological resistance, but I do think that this is a chart that has the potential, or as I like to say recently, the propensity. I don't even know if that's the right word. Somebody has to correct me if I'm wrong because that's embarrassing. But volume is looking okay. The trend is still down. On balance volume, trending down. The slow line is starting to flatten out, but honestly, it's way too early. There's really nothing else bullish about this except for the fact that my good old TBO, which you're going to be hearing about, wrong button, this one. This weekend, when I talk about trend trading, I didn't open the position. I shared this with you yesterday. So a position was automatically opened at 74 cents. We'll just round it to 74 cents. And I'm just leaving it in. Now, I did move my stop loss up because I want to protect profit. You guys know me. And right now the position is up 17%. This is literally a hands-free trade. Now, with that said, there's nothing wrong with intervening. So just so you know, I have a take profit target here at 97.90. Please do not edge me out. Please do not just let me ruin. Don't get in front of me. I might have to move this after this video because I want to make sure that I get my profit. I want to get something out of this trade because this one has no fixed take profit from Altrady. The fixed take profit is actually coming from TradingView. But for now, being up 17% on an automated trade, pretty good. Pretty happy with that. So I'll be taking out partial profit on the move up. Now, the ones that you guys have asked for. Link. This one is interesting, mainly because there is news coming out about Link pretty often. I don't know if you guys saw this, but MasterCard is partnering with Chainlink to enable billions of cardholders to purchase crypto directly on chain. That's insane. That's actually really, really, really good news. Now, is the price reflecting that good news in the macro sense? Not really. It's just like a V-shaped bottom. It's a V-shaped correction. Yesterday is only up 4% or so. The price is back inside the clouds, so we're back into bullish consolidation. But is the slow line bullishly ascending higher? No, it looks awful. It's super strong bearish still. But this is admittedly a chart that I've been accumulating a lot of for a long time because I see the partnerships, I see the potential. So I don't see anything wrong with buying the dips, especially on these extreme bounces. On the weekly time frame, if we have a bullish engulfing candle on the weekly, that will be an amazing sign. But to be honest, we are not at the stage of the market where big news and partnerships and announcements and roadmaps matter at all. It doesn't. It doesn't. Now, for some of your picks, all right, I'm going to be brutally honest with these, just so you know, and I don't like to sugarcoat anything, even if it's picks that I have, because I'm telling you guys the truth. Now, Turbo and Toshi are pretty much hand in hand, both looking wrecked. They both look completely abandoned. They both are strong bearish. They're both below the daily TBO cloud. Now, the difference is volume. Turbo's volume, especially here on OKX, is pretty dead. It has a weekly volume of 2.3 billion, but volume is still struggling. Yes, Monday's push of 17% for Turbo, or over here for Toshi of 25% is amazing. But these are still super strong bearish charts. Yes, they're meme coins. Yes, they're actually going to be more volatile than everything else, especially Link. So you can use these charts to trade and to leverage the volatility for your benefit. But these charts are still massively, massively bearish. And they will only turn bullish, or at least into bullish consolidation, when the price goes inside of the daily TBO cloud. A cash network, this is one that got really close. I was watching this one to see if it would wick into TBO support here, which would be a great entry. It did not quite make it. Monday's move of 13% is good, but if you wanted to know, can there be a bearish or more bearish chart than those guys? You tell me. Oh man, a cash network, or a cash, however you want to say it, it's bad. This chart is totally destroyed, unfortunately. On the weekly time frame, it lost support. Now, the reality is that it can go lower. It can go a whole lot lower. So just when you thought it was bad, it can get a whole lot worse. But it did reach a local low. It has been several weeks since the price is pumped up to TBO, the TBO fast line here. But the chart's really bearish. Nothing exciting about this at all. AVAX, again, a chart that Avalanche, it's a decent company. It's similar like to Solana, things like that, or Ethereum. But guys, strong bearish, super strong bearish. Yes, we're having a V-shaped recovery balance like we did back over here. In order for this chart to be bullish, it needs to go above the daily TBO cloud. It's actually lower than it was during last summer. That says anything about the chart. On the weekly time frame, on the weekly time frame, it's just a really rough looking chart. It's going to be bearish until the price goes above $22. Aave, as you know, we've been watching this chart. We had our TBO breakouts. They were invalidated by our close long, which wicked right up to the fast line. So we're taking out some profits out of the position. Now, the main concern I have is the fact that the price lost support here at 618, which tells me that it will most likely dip down again. I'm also looking at the slow line, seeing it trend lower as well. It's not really great. Volume was good earlier this week, but volume was great for everyone on Monday. But it's really more about, is it going to have enough energy to curl back up and especially move up towards 786, which I was hoping and expecting it to do. Now, the thing that will change my mind is to see the price of Aave close above TBO resistance here at $309. Hedera hash graph, HBAR. I talked about this one on yesterday's update, I believe, because it closed on Monday a TBT bullish divergence signal and had a massive RSI reset. It's a good looking chart, even though it lost the 0.5 fib level, even though it lost support here, it actually did not put in a lower low on the dip on Monday, which is a sign of at least it's not terrible. Again, the slow line is massively bearish on this chart. It's really too bad. But there's really nothing else to say about it. If we do get a bullish engulfing candle on the weekly, that will be a really positive sign for Hedera. But we still have basically 5 days left. SPX, this one had a great push up to the daily TBO fast line after printing a close long. It lost a lot of ground, and this is why we don't sell on the fear. We sell on the return to the TBO fast line. So that way we walk away with more profit in our pockets. Now, the reality of this chart is that volume has fallen down quite a bit, even though the moving average is still moving up. It's a 30-day moving average. So, of course, it's going to continue to move up higher. And the volume we saw on Monday is the biggest volume we've seen since Friday the 13th. Eek! So, in order for SPX to continue looking great, we need to see the price actually push up here to push above TBO resistance at 150. That's the truth. Now, there is short-term resistance right here that got pierced. If we were to see the price actually pump up 18%, which is normal, honestly, for this, that would be a positive sign. But I think it's going to chop back and forth inside the cloud for a while before it moves up higher. But just so you know, this is exactly what happened back over here before it really crashed. Literally almost the same setup, which is why we closed our long, which is why I took out more profits out of my position. XMR, Monero. This is one that had an amazing pump back over here in April, which was a predictive wick, which I haven't talked about in a while. Maybe it's time to make one of those videos. We have our TBT bearish divergence signal, close long, cross down, open short. So the bear formula is correct. Now we are slowly starting to see a reversal here. The RSI reset that it had was super minor on Monday, but it's still an RSI reset. On the 4-hour time frame, I'm seeing more TBO close shorts. I've been seeing these since the beginning of this month, and we're seeing more and more. So I think that the price is being suppressed. But eventually what happens with these is, we're seeing lower highs, lower lows. That's basically a bull flag, and we'll see a push above. I don't think we're going to see a push up here to 400, but I think somewhere to like 360 would make sense. BitTensor, or Tau, is looking pretty flat, actually extremely flat. The slow line and the medium slow line up here, they're both just kind of going, like there's nothing really exciting happening, but it is massively oversold. When anything is massively overextended from the TBO fast line, these are opportunities waiting in disguise. And what happens is we usually get a tag or a touch to the daily TBO fast line like we saw back here on Tuesday. Boom, there it is. So when we're overextended, whether we're pumping or we're dumping, aim for that TBO fast line for our first touch, because it's amazing how many times it gets touched or tagged and then it falls again. Virtual's protocol, similar story. It was massively oversold here on Sunday down at 127, and it pumped up 35%. It did. Look at that. It tagged the TBO fast line. Now, the one thing that is kind of okay with this chart is the fact that the slow line, it really looks like it's starting to curl up, but when I zoom out, no, it's not. There's just not a lot of excitement happening. A lot of these meme coins, aside from SPX, are really struggling to keep up. Turbo, Toshi, Virtuals, even WIF. Honestly, WIF is not performing as good as it used to. SPX is where all the attention and energy and money is going right now, and rightfully so, because this one has just a different ethos about it. But that's basically my take on the market. And again, you guys, if you want to get better, go to thebettertraders.com. The link is in the description below. And for all of you that are new to crypto trading, you're not ready to dip your toes into trading, but you want to learn about cryptocurrency, blockchain, the differences between this, that, and the other, how to approach crypto with an investor mindset, go to masteringassets.com, where you'll learn how to take an investor's approach to cryptocurrency, which you can still do really, really well. Case in point, going back over here to TradingView, Bitcoin. I know where we are right now. It's amazing, but my primary allocation for this bull market was back over here at $20,000. I've added a little bit on the way, in a couple spots, but really I bought most of my Bitcoin back over here. because I know how to use the investor mindset. And I didn't even get the best Pico bottom. I don't care. I don't care if the price went down another 22% because I knew where we were in the market. So I want to leave it there for today. I want you guys to watch this video. It's going to pop up right here, which is my favorite signal that I use to identify bullish reversals. And until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.